1% mindset. The 1% mindset is not a gift, not a talent, not a lucky strike of fate that falls into the laps of chosen people. It is a relentless internal construction, a mindset carved from hardship, sculpted through discipline, and strengthened by every moment where the average person would choose comfort, but the uncommon person chooses growth. The 1% mindset is the silent war you wage with yourself when the world is asleep, when no one is cheering for you, when no one is watching, when your body screams for rest, and your mind whispers excuses that promise relief but deliver regret. It is the decision you make every single day to rise above the noise, the distractions, the temptations, the circumstances, and the limits that society tries to place on you. The 1% mindset is built in the moments you don't broadcast, in the hours no one sees, in the sacrifices no one knows you're making, in the frustrations you keep private, in the storms you fight through alone, and in the work you commit to, even when your results are slow, your motivation is low, and your faith feels fragile. It is a fierce refusal to be ordinary, a refusal to settle, a refusal to accept mediocrity simply because it's comfortable and accepted. It is choosing the difficult path on purpose, because you understand that the difficult path is the only one that transforms you, sharpens you, and elevates you to a level where your presence is impossible to ignore. The 1% mindset is the mindset of people who do not wait for perfect timing, who do not wait for validation, who do not wait for permission, who do not wait for emotional comfort, who do not wait for everything to be easy, because they know easy is the enemy. Easy destroys dreams. Easy kills ambition. Easy seduces the weak into believing that small efforts are enough. Easy convinces people that success is supposed to feel good, when the truth is that success is born from discomfort, uncertainty, repetition, resilience, and the willingness to continue long after the feeling has left. The 1% mindset is understanding that growth is rarely dramatic. It is slow, unglamorous, methodical, and uncelebrated. It is the commitment to show up again and again and again, even when the progress feels invisible, even when the journey feels endless, even when the results are not yet revealing themselves. It is the understanding that discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't want to. Focus is staying locked in when your mind wants to wander. Resilience is pushing forward when everything in your environment tells you to stop. And belief is holding on when logic tells you that you're dreaming too big. The 1% mindset is developed when you make decisions based on your future, not your feelings. When you prioritize long-term victory over short-term comfort, when you choose actions that strengthen your character rather than weaken it. It is living with the awareness that you are not entitled to greatness. You must earn it through sweat, sacrifice, consistency, self-control, and a level of commitment that most people are simply not willing to give. The 1% mindset is the mindset of people who understand that each day is a test of patience, a test of devotion, a test of purpose, a test of mental fortitude. They know that the world rewards those who outwork their old habits, outgrow their old excuses, and outperform their old selves. They understand that the only true competition is the person they were yesterday, and the only true victory is becoming someone they themselves can respect. It is the mindset that embraces discipline like a friend, embraces structure like a tool, embraces discomfort like a catalyst, and embraces failure like a teacher. It is knowing that failure is not the end, but the necessary doorway to mastery. It is the mindset that understands that pressure is a privilege, obstacles are opportunities, adversity is refinement, and the struggle is part of the process, not a sign to quit. The 1% mindset is what allows a person to stay committed after the motivation fades, to stay hungry after the excitement dies, to stay focused when the distractions scream for attention, to stay disciplined when the world offers shortcuts, and to stay strong when life becomes unpredictable, overwhelming, and unfair. It is the internal fire that refuses to die even when the winds of doubt are blowing with full force. It is the quiet voice in your soul that says, "Keep going, don't stop, you're built for this, you're not done yet." The 1% mindset is not loud, but it is undeniable. It does not boast, but it shows through actions, habits, and results. It does not demand recognition, but it earns respect. It does not chase perfection, but it pursues progress. It does not seek applause, but it creates impact. The 1% mindset is what pushes you to wake up early while others sleep, to put in the extra hours while others relax, to study more deeply while others coast, to train harder while others take days off, to practice your craft while others procrastinate, and to believe in yourself when others doubt you. It gives you the courage to take risks, the humility to stay teachable, the drive to reinvent yourself, the endurance to withstand setbacks, and the clarity to stay true to your goals even when the world tries to steer you off your path. The 1% mindset is what transforms pain into power, confusion into clarity, chaos into movement, fear into motivation, and dreams into reality. It is the mindset of people who build themselves in silence and shock the world with their results. It is the mindset of those who rise not because they had perfect circumstances, but because they refuse to be defeated by imperfect ones. It is the mindset that says, I am willing to do what most won't, so I can live how most can't. I am willing to sacrifice today for the life I want tomorrow. I am willing to grow even when it hurts. I am willing to stay patient even when it's slow. I am willing to push harder even when I'm tired. I am willing to stay committed even when I feel alone. I am willing to believe even when the evidence is not yet visible. This is the mindset that elevates you from average to elite, from potential to power, from intention to execution, from dreaming to achieving. The 1% mindset is not about being better than others. It is about being better than the version of yourself that settles. It is about rising beyond your excuses, your laziness, your fears, your old identity, and stepping into the strongest, most disciplined, most courageous version of yourself. It's about understanding that every day you are either creating your future or destroying it. Every choice is a vote for the person you want to become. Every action is a step toward your destiny. The 1% mindset is the ultimate form of self-respect, choosing to give your best, choosing to fight for your goals, choosing to develop your mind, choosing to elevate your standards, choosing to take responsibility for your life. And the truth is simple. Most people will never reach this mindset, not because they can't, but because they won't. They quit when it gets hard. They stop when it becomes slow. They lose focus when distractions appear. They let emotions make decisions instead of discipline. They allow fear to control their path. They wait for perfect conditions that will never exist. They want the success but reject the work, but not you, not anymore. Not with the fire you carry. Not with the hunger you feel. Not with the vision burning in your mind and the purpose pulling you forward. The 1% mindset is the mindset you choose every day, with every action. In every moment, you decide to rise instead of retreat, to work instead of wait, to build instead of complain, to grow instead of fear, to persist instead of surrender. This is who you are becoming, the person who refuses to settle for ordinary, the person who embraces accountability, the person who builds their life through discipline, the person who respects the grind, the person who never gives up on their future. The 1% mindset is not a destination, but a daily decision, a lifestyle, a commitment, a standard. And the moment you accept this truth is the moment everything in your life begins to transform. The 1% mindset grows stronger every time you choose the harder right over the easier wrong. Every time you silence the voice of doubt and amplify the voice of discipline. Every time you refuse to negotiate with weakness and instead negotiate only with your purpose. It grows in the moments where you could quit but don't, where you could slow down but push harder, where you could settle but demand more from yourself. It takes root every time you choose to rise when your mind tells you to stay comfortable, because comfort is the enemy of greatness. Comfort convinces people that they have time, that small effort is enough, that dreams can be delayed indefinitely, but the 1% mindset rejects this illusion entirely. It knows that time is not guaranteed, that effort must be multiplied, that dreams expire when neglected. It knows that life rewards the disciplined, the hungry, the resilient, and the focused. It knows that every second you waste is a second you will never get back, and that the gap between where you are and where you want to be is determined by the choices you make when no one is watching. The 1% mindset is the mindset that carries you through the seasons of life, when everything seems to be falling apart, when your emotions feel heavy, when your path feels uncertain, when your progress feels invisible. It teaches you to endure, to adapt, to evolve. It teaches you that setbacks are not signs of failure, but signs of refinement. It shows you that you cannot control everything, but you can control how you respond, how you show up, how you grow through it. People with the 1% mindset don't crumble under pressure. They are forged by it. Pressure shapes them, strengthens them, polishes them into individuals who can withstand storms that would break most people. They understand that every struggle has a purpose. Every difficulty has a lesson. Every challenge builds a part of them that comfort never could. The 1% mindset is the belief that you are capable of getting through anything, even when it hurts, even when it's slow, even when it tests your patience and threatens your confidence. It is the belief that your future self will thank you for the discipline you apply today, for the sacrifices you make today, for the battles you win today. It is the commitment to hold yourself to a higher standard, even if no one else understands it. The world may call it obsession, but you know it's dedication. The world may call it extreme, but you know it's necessary. The world may call it unrealistic, but you know it's the only way to break out of mediocrity and rise into excellence. The 1% mindset means becoming someone who refuses to be distracted by temporary pleasures, who refuses to be derailed by temporary emotions, who refuses to be limited by temporary circumstances. It means training your mind to focus on what matters, to protect your energy, to prioritize your goals, and to guard your habits like priceless treasures. Because habits are the architects of the future. Your habits shape your success, your identity, your opportunities, your destiny. The 1% mindset knows that you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. And so you build habits that strengthen your discipline, build habits that sharpen your focus, build habits that cultivate resilience, build habits that align with the person you are becoming. You stop waiting for motivation because motivation is temporary and unreliable. Instead, you rely on discipline because discipline is dependable. Discipline is what gets you up when you feel tired, what pushes you forward when you feel stuck, what stabilizes you when life becomes chaotic. Discipline is the backbone of the 1% mindset, and without it, even the greatest dreams collapse. The 1% mindset also requires honesty, a brutal, direct, unapologetic honesty with yourself. You must be willing to confront your weaknesses, to acknowledge your excuses, to face the truth of your current habits without sugarcoating it. You must be willing to look in the mirror and see not just the potential, but the patterns holding you back. Because you cannot improve what you refuse to acknowledge. You cannot grow if you blame everything except your own actions. You cannot evolve if you keep protecting your weaknesses instead of transforming them. The 1% mindset demands that you take responsibility for your life fully and completely. It demands that you stop complaining, stop procrastinating, stop waiting, stop expecting someone else to save you. No one is coming to fix your life for you. It is your responsibility to fix it, your responsibility to build it, your responsibility to fight for it. And when you accept this truth, you become unstoppable, because you realize that nothing can hold you back except your own decisions. The 1% mindset also means embracing the long game. It means accepting that success is rarely fast, rarely glamorous, rarely easy. It is slow, repetitive, demanding. It is built through thousands of small actions that seem insignificant in the moment, but accumulate into extraordinary results over time. Most people never stay consistent long enough to experience this compounding effect, but those with the 1% mindset do. They understand that every single day counts, that every repetition matters, that every hour invested in their craft puts them ahead of those who are trapped in cycles of inconsistency. The 1% mindset is about choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term satisfaction. It is about rejecting instant gratification and embracing delayed gratification, because you know that what you are building is bigger than the moment you're in. It is about doing today what others won't, so you can live tomorrow how others can't. It's about believing in your future self so deeply that you are willing to suffer in the present to become who you're capable of being. The 1% mindset gives you the courage to dream bigger, the patience to work smarter, the resilience to push harder, and the faith to keep going even when things feel impossible. It gives you the emotional strength to endure loneliness, the mental strength to endure doubt, and the physical strength to endure exhaustion. It teaches you that your greatest breakthroughs often come right after your hardest battles, that your greatest transformations come when you refuse to give up, that your greatest victories come when you push through the moments where average people quit. It turns you into someone who looks at challenges not with fear, but with determination. Someone who sees obstacles as opportunities to prove your strength. Someone who sees setbacks as setups for comebacks. It turns you into someone who refuses to break, someone who refuses to fold, someone who refuses to settle. The 1% mindset is what separates those who fantasize from those who realize, those who wish from those who work, those who try from those who commit. It is the difference between potential and power, between dreaming and achieving, between being average and becoming exceptional. And the more you nurture this mindset, the stronger it becomes. The 1% mindset is fed by consistency, strengthened by discipline, fortified by resilience, refined by struggle, expanded by learning, and empowered by purpose. The 1% mindset turns your life into a mission to rise, to grow, to push, to build, to evolve, to become the strongest, most capable, most purposeful version of yourself. And once you step into this mindset fully, completely, without hesitation, there is nothing in the world that can stop you, because you have already defeated the only enemy that ever mattered, the weaker version of yourself that you refuse to remain. The 1% mindset becomes unshakable when you realize that greatness is not built in the moments of applause, but in the moments of isolation, in the quiet hours when you are forced to confront discomfort head-on, when the only thing pushing you forward is your refusal to remain who you used to be. It becomes unbreakable when you understand that the world will often misunderstand your commitment, question your intensity, judge your sacrifices, and doubt your vision. Because most people operate from a mindset of limitation, not expansion. They operate from fear, not possibility. They operate from comfort, not transformation. But the 1% mindset refuses to shrink to fit the expectations of the crowd. It refuses to downplay its hunger or dilute its purpose to make others feel comfortable. It moves with certainty even when the path is unclear. It moves with conviction even when others express doubt. It moves with discipline even when motivation disappears. It moves with vision even before results appear. Because this mindset is not built on external validation, it is built on internal alignment. The 1% mindset means you understand something that most people never realize. Your life is entirely in your hands. Your success is not determined by your environment, your past, your circumstances, or your limitations. It is determined by your choices, your habits, your focus, your resilience, and your willingness to do what others avoid. It is the moment you stop blaming anything outside of yourself. You stop blaming people who doubted you. You stop blaming circumstances that slowed you down. You stop blaming failures that discouraged you. You stop blaming challenges that tested you. You take full ownership, and in that ownership you find your power, the power to rebuild, reshape, redirect, and reinvent your entire life. This mindset does not allow you to stay small. It pulls you forward, demanding evolution, demanding growth, demanding change, demanding that you rise into the strongest version of yourself. And this growth is not comfortable. It is painful, it is exhausting, it is lonely. It requires you to give up old habits, old identities, old patterns, old excuses, parts of you that have been with you for years. But the 1% mindset understands that the price of staying the same is far more painful than the price of growth. Staying the same leads to regret, resentment, and wasted potential. Growth leads to purpose, pride, and transformation. So you choose growth again and again, even when it breaks you open, even when it stretches you beyond your limits, even when it feels like you are walking through fire, because you know that fire is exactly what forges steel. The 1% mindset is a lifestyle of mastery. It is the commitment to getting better every day, not in dramatic ways, but in small, consistent, powerful ways that compound over time. While others look for shortcuts, you focus on fundamentals. While others want results without work, you focus on process. While others chase trends, you chase excellence. While others look for the easy path, you look for the right one. And this alone separates you from the majority, because the majority spends their life avoiding hard work, running from discomfort, hiding from challenges, and settling for less than what they are capable of. But you are different. You refuse to be trapped by average thinking. You refuse to float through life without direction. You refuse to let your potential die in the graveyard of unfulfilled dreams. You refuse to let fear dictate your destiny. The 1% mindset teaches you to see fear differently. Fear is not a sign to retreat. Fear is a signal that something important is on the other side. Fear is an indicator of growth. Fear is the gateway to the life you want. So instead of avoiding fear, you face it, you walk toward it. You use it. You let it sharpen you. You let it challenge you. You let it guide you to the areas where you most need to grow. While the world lets fear cage them, you let fear shape you. The 1% mindset also demands that you develop emotional discipline, the ability to keep your mind calm when life becomes chaotic, the ability to stay focused when your emotions pull you in every direction, the ability to stay committed even when you feel uninspired, overwhelmed, or uncertain. Emotional discipline is what separates those who crumble from those who conquer. Most people allow their emotions to dictate their actions. If they feel tired, they stop. If they feel scared, they avoid. If they feel discouraged, they quit. If they feel impatient, they abandon their plan. But the 1% mindset teaches you that emotions are temporary, but consequences are permanent. So you act based on your values, not your feelings. You execute based on your goals, not your moods. You stay consistent based on your purpose, not your impulses. You understand that your feelings are valid, but they are not the driver of your life. Your discipline is. The 1% mindset also transforms the way you view failure. Most people fear failure. They avoid it. They hide from it. They take it personally. They allow it to crush their confidence and convince them to shrink. But those with the 1% mindset see failure for what it truly is: data, feedback, information. Every failure reveals something you need to improve. Every failure reveals something you need to change. Every failure reveals something you need to strengthen. Failure is not a dead end. It is a doorway. It is a lesson disguised as pain. It is a teacher disguised as disappointment. The 1% mindset knows that failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. In fact, those who succeed the most fail the most, because they try the most. They experiment the most. They put themselves out there the most. They risk the most. And every time they fall, they rise with more wisdom, more strength, and more resilience. The 1% mindset is also deeply connected to purpose. Not just motivation, but a deep internal reason for why you are doing what you're doing. Motivation fades. Inspiration fades. Excitement fades. But purpose remains. Purpose sustains you through the darkest seasons. Purpose keeps you moving when you feel alone. Purpose anchors you when your path feels uncertain. Purpose fuels you when your body wants to quit. Purpose becomes the fire that burns long after the spark of motivation has died. And those with the 1% mindset don't just work hard, they work with purpose. They live with meaning. They move with intention. They act with clarity. They pursue goals that align with who they want to become. Purpose gives them a direction, a map, a North Star. Purpose turns hard work into devotion, discipline into identity, sacrifice into investment. The 1% mindset also demands that you surround yourself with environments that elevate you, not environments that drain you. Because your environment shapes your habits shape your identity, and your identity shapes your future. The 1% mindset understands that you cannot grow in soil that suffocates you. You cannot evolve in environments that feed your weaknesses. You cannot thrive around people who encourage your excuses. So you choose to surround yourself with people who push you, challenge you, inspire you, support your growth, not your stagnation. And if you don't have those people yet, you become that person for yourself. Because the 1% mindset knows that solitude is better than company that weakens you. When you rise into the 1% mindset, you stop living on autopilot. You stop drifting. You stop wasting your days. You become intentional with every hour, every choice, every habit, every step. You live with urgency, not panic but purpose. You understand that your life is too valuable to waste on distractions, too meaningful to waste on negativity, too powerful to waste on excuses. You realize that everything you want is on the other side of discipline, consistency, and resilience, and you are willing to pay that price because you know that the price of regret is far heavier than the price of commitment. And so, day after day, you rise. Day after day, you push. Day after day, you grind, grow, and fight for the life you envision. You build yourself piece by piece, habit by habit, choice by choice, and slowly, quietly, powerfully, you transform into someone you once believed was impossible. That is the 1% mindset, a mindset of transformation, a mindset of elevation, a mindset of unstoppable will.